We appreciate you guys for staying with us on tonight's topic, which is how bereaved family members handle the holidays. And during the commercial break, we were talking about some things that are difficult for you guys, as well as emotionally, morally. Talk about how you guys felt emotionally vulnerable.
Why'd you take that, Aubrey?
Well, I mean, I think, like I was saying in the beginning, I felt like I didn't know who I was anymore. So I wouldn't have been able to. I lost my job within a week. I went back to work, and my boss said, "Is your heart in this?" Like, my heart is in nothing right now. And so that ended. I cried at the grocery store. I couldn't. It was minute by minute focus to get anything accomplished. Yes. So I don't think, other than just being with my family and taking care of my kids, I was available emotionally to really do anything. I don't know. I mean, it was kind of a gift that job ended, honestly, because I wasn't, in a mental state to really function. It was, it was a huge thing.
It's just hard to have that clarity of mind. So you want to surround yourself with people and relationships, and sometimes you just want to pull back. You're not thinking straight. I had the luxury of taking a little time off, and because I teach exercise classes, and I could not imagine standing up in front of someone. I felt like they could see all my pain. I had no energy to take and lead anyone anywhere. I needed to be led, and so for me, I was just drained. I think grief drains you. I was just tired a lot, but yet I was not sleeping. So emotionally, you're on a roller coaster, and you never know when that low is going to take you down real far, and when you're going to come back up, and you get further down the line on your grief journey, you understand the navigating points, and you know that, okay, I am going to come back up. But early on, I felt like I was going to suffocate. My grief was going to suffocate me, and I remember just reaching out to people, to me, just pray for me now. It just felt like, it just felt like I was in a whole nother zone, that I was not really connecting. I was here, but not here.
Yeah. Kevin, we do have your call. I'm not sure, Kevin, if you have us, but do you have a question for our guests?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, yeah, I'm Kevin. I'm a big fan of Channel 5. I'm Rory Johnson's friend. and I want to tell y'all the loss that y'all have. I just want to tell y'all that y'all want y'all to know that Jesus is with you, and Jesus cares for you, and Jesus loves y'all. That he would never, even the loss, but y'all have Jesus with y'all.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that.
So many people want to encourage you guys, I'm sure, by just hearing your stories. It's so sweet.
Yes, so we appreciate that. We sure appreciate that. There were moments, though, that I had to say, really, Jesus, this is my life, and is this really happening? But I knew deep down inside that I was not alone, but there are periods where you feel deeply alone, even though others have experienced loss, the same loss, and but you do feel deeply alone.
In your organization that you guys are with, it's not a faith-based organization, correct? So you're open to all types of people. Tell us, what would it look like if someone watching maybe wants to participate or come to one of your sessions? What would that look like?
Well, the organization, as I said, has been around for 50 years. There are over 600 chapters, and there are 2 hours of meeting. Each chapter meets once a month for 2 hours, and we may have a theme. Usually there's a theme. We just had a candlelight service a couple of weeks ago, and we came and just remembered our loved ones through candlelight. It was very moving and beautiful this time of the year. But you come and you're not bombarded with anything. If you feel like sharing, you share. If you're not ready to share, you can listen and find hope and healing. But we will have an Ask It basket. We've talked about that in the past. We will have a balloon release in the summer. We we have a Mother's Day and Father's Day program. So if you come in, you're not going to be forced to do anything. We're not trying to give advice. We're not experts. We're just there to listen and help one another and just provide support and encouragement.
That first hour we meet in the large group, we go around, share our name, our child's name, how did they die. You know, you don't have to do that. That's very difficult, especially for the newly bereaved. There's usually a program, like Pamela said, the Ask It Basket, or we might have a guest speaker come in. There might be a video showing, and then we'll break for snacks, and then we'll go into small group. And I'm the facilitator for the suicide table. That's how my son Daniel died. He broke up with his girlfriend and took his life. So, and Pamela sometimes helps facilitate that table with me.
And a meeting setting may not be for everyone, so we do have private Facebook pages for siblings, grandparents, parents. We have chat rooms if you would rather just go in and maybe have a dialogue with someone. And even on the Facebook page, you can read through posts. You don't have to post anything, but just you may find somebody that your situation may be similar, and you may find strength or encouragement there, because it's hard. A group setting is not for everyone. And we do share at our first meeting or second meeting, give the compassionate friends, give it 2 or 3 times, 3 or 4 times to come back. And I would say with any support group, whatever the cause, you have to give it time to see how it feels for you and how it fits into your lifestyle and where you are on your journey.
And our meetings are confidential.
Yes.
We do have a follow-up question from Joe. I believe it's the same Joe who called earlier, correct?
It is.
Do you have anything else to say about our conversation?
Well, I feel like we all go through this stuff, and it really, you have to have a foundation of some kind of out. Like, mine is my faith. I have an out. Right. So I can get out of my funk and losing my brother. Like, I lost my brother last year, but you get out of the funk. And it's the thing I was kind of saying before, is that the way you feel isn't a result of what's happening in your life. It's your interpretation of what's happening in your life. But again, I read a long time ago, like, how trivial are the slights and inconveniences of life compared to the real burdens that some families carry. Like, we lose loved ones, but look at the people that really go through difficult times with taking care of people as well. So we have to realize that sometimes, you know, we make a big deal out of people dying and going to heaven, but there's people that go through bigger things than us, and I'll leave you at that.
I would just like to tap, I so agree with that. There are people that are struggling with illness, long-term illness, taking care of elderly parents, and there are support groups of that, whether it's divorce or what have you. I just know the organization, the Compassionate Friends, and I was a part of another support group called Bainville. They have been resources. We have community with our church family, our neighborhoods that we live in, but there are support groups for various challenges that we faced in life, and I'm an advocate of that. Where you are, whether it's divorce or taking care of the elderly, we're speaking on, you know, regarding grief and bereavement and finding hope and healing. And so that's all that we're just expressing, that, you know, there are resources out there just to give you hope. Yes, there are many challenges in life. We can watch TV, and we are very connected. We're a global civilization, and we can see the atrocities happening around the world. But again, when it knocks at your heart address, you have to walk it out.
Right. And I've said many times, I don't see how folks without a faith system get through this, because it's very difficult with faith. And what he said, I had a sister whose daughter died from brain cancer. So for 13 months, she wasted away, you know. I mean, yes, she was able to say goodbye to her daughter. I wasn't able to say goodbye to my son because it was so sudden with my son Daniel's death. But Bridget, that was a different story.
tough things, especially with suicide, losing young children. We really encourage you guys to call in if you have questions on how to handle your grief. But for right now, we do have to head to the break.